Not the result that a lot of people saw coming, but just the result dreamed of in Seattle. Sounders winning 3-1 over the Supporters Shield winners, LAFC. Bank of California, the scene. Alejandro Moreno, Sebastian, Salazar here with you. I mean, simply put, and this is not to take a shot at the Sounders, this is a huge upset.
It is. But you have to think about what LAFC was coming into this match and the evidence that we had seen from their performances in the playoff. They give up goals. At home, they give up goals. They get stretched. They get disconnected, disorganized. And when that happens and you have a good team in front of you, which the Seattle Sounders are that, and they have capable players in the attack, they can take advantage of that. And what we saw from the Seattle Sounders is the ability to frustrate LAFC, to make sure that when there was an opportunity to get stuck in a tackle, they got stuck in. When there was a chance to win a 50-50 ball, they won that ball. They were first to second balls. Everything about the intensity and urgency with which the Seattle Sounders played told me, you know what, these guys were ready to compete. They were ready to fight. They were ready to push each other and push LAFC in the process. Whereas LAFC thought, you know, we're just going to pass our way through this. It doesn't work that way. And at some point, you have to match that energy. You have to match that intensity, and then you can earn your right to play. LAFC never did that tonight. And when you consider the big names that we were talking about coming into this match, Diego Rossi and Carlos Vela, largely ineffective, and in the second half, when they were most needed, disappeared. And so you start considering about the Seattle Sounders and their big names. Nicolás Lodeiro, excellent. Raúl Ruiz Díaz, next level. You consider them defensively. You consider what they did in terms of tackling the ball and winning challenges and winning the midfield. Where was the midfield of LAFC? Inexistent. So, to me, it is a surprise in the sense of what we expected from LAFC and what they had done in the regular season, but it's not a surprise from what we saw tonight. Seattle Sounders were definitely and decidedly better than LAFC.
No surprise in the Sounders locker room. A little bit of surprise here on the desk. Let's go up to the boys in the booth. What did you make of it?
Well, let's start with that point. Taylor, how surprised are you?
Not terribly surprised in the sense that you knew Seattle was going to be up for the challenge. My biggest surprise is that LAFC wasn't up for a fight. And after the kind of performance they gave against the LA Galaxy, I felt like they had gotten over the hump, so to speak, and said, you know what, this is ours. We're going to grab it by the scruff of the neck. And quite honestly, they were played off the field. Now, possession numbers and passes, and everyone's going to look at that. That's why you need to look inside and not just look at stats. The truth of the matter was, Seattle executed their game plan perfectly, and LAFC was left with very few opportunities. You tell me, everyone at home, when was the last game you watched where LAFC had very few chances from open play? That's a credit to Brian Schmetzer and the Seattle Sounders.
Just 3 wins in 10 at the end of the season for LAFC after carrying all before them for 3/4 of the season.
I got to tip my cap to you, John, because you said it at the end of the regular season. You said, is it alarming to you that they have kind of fallen flat? Now, listen, I've never been in that spot where you had the Supporters Shield wrapped up. I was always in a situation we were fighting to get into the playoffs, and then playoffs came around, we got ourselves the MLS Cup. But I had never been in that spot. So I just said, you know what, maybe LAFC just realizes we need to kind of save ourselves. But it was the emotional ineptitude of this team after LA Galaxy that surprised me. But I said it to you this morning, and I said it in our opening. I felt like that's going to be the key. When Atuesta scored, and then Rodriguez had that great chance, Stefan Frey made the save. That's where you were like, you know what, LAFC is up for it. I was completely wrong.
It was a classic gate crashing at what was meant to be an LAFC party, Sebi. I think that's our feeling from up here.
Absolutely, guys. Looking forward to your call. November 10th, MLS Cup. We don't know where it'll be yet. It'll be Toronto and Atlanta in the Eastern Conference Final tomorrow. Let's play the hypothetical game. All right, we know Seattle's advanced. Let's say it's Seattle and Toronto. How's that matchup shaking out for you?
Well, it would be Seattle at home, which is a departure from what we have seen in the past in MLS Cup history between these two teams. The matchup for Seattle would be favorable. Toronto, it's a team that has had issues throughout the course of the season. It hasn't even always been smooth. It hasn't been perfect. But if they find a way to get through Atlanta, then be careful with Toronto and be careful what you wish for. Seattle cannot fall in the same trap that LAFC fell into today. However, I don't think they're going to have to worry about it because I think Atlanta will win at home and Seattle will have to go grind out at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
You see Atlanta as a big favorite if it is Atlanta and Seattle?
I think the potential for Atlanta is much higher than it is for Toronto. I think their best is better than that of Toronto's. If they play at their best, Atlanta advances. If not, Toronto will give themselves an opportunity. And maybe they take the same approach that we just saw here from the Seattle Sounders. I just don't think it's going to be enough because Atlanta played well and they're feeling confident right now.
You talk about two dynamic forwards, Joseph Martinez, Raul Ruidiaz, who wouldn't want to see that? Seattle Sounders into MLS Cup. Will they be joined by Toronto or Atlanta? We'll find out tomorrow.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.